Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Sekani, a podcast for people in their 20s who are trying to figure out life and not get lost along the way. Today's guest is Nancy Thompson, a registered nurse with over 30 years of experience and a functional medicine coach who specializes in helping women navigate perimenopause, menopause, and holistic recovery. After her own breast cancer diagnosis, it transformed the way she viewed healthcare. Nancy shifted her focus from simply treating symptoms to uncovering the root causes of illnesses and helping people reclaim their health from the inside out. Our work blends clinical nursing, functional medicine, and holistic wellness to help women understand that they are not broken, they're experiencing changes their bodies are trying to communicate. Nancy, welcome to Conversations with Sekani. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, right. Okay, so yes, I want you to take us back, right, to, your 20s, right, and what dreams or ambitions were shaping your future.
So in my 20s, it's going way back.
Mhm.
My mom was actually a nurse. So I grew up watching her take care of people in her practice, just really inspired by how she approached her work and how she just genuinely cared about people in connecting and what she did. And so that was what steered me toward a nursing career. That's how I ended up in nursing, was by watching my mom. Um, yeah, so it was very amazing to see her in her practice.
Wow. Oh, okay. All right. And one thing amongst like people in their 20s, right? They are struggling to, balance ambition, relationship, and also take care of themselves. So how did
Mhm.
you navigate those pressure when you were in your 20s?
So I was actually a young mom also. So I graduated from college at 22. My husband and I went to college together. We got married at 24. I found out I was pregnant at 24, which was a big surprise. So in addition to, becoming a new nurse, I was also becoming a new mom at the same time. So we had a lot of pieces, a lot of things, a lot of new coming at us as people in our young 20s. And you know, you I can say now I'm 54 now, you are so many different versions of yourselves between then and now. And it was a process. It was working together. It was looking at, again, my mom, my parents, his parents, they were parents at a very young age as well, his parents. So, looking to them as inspiration and also support. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting time in my life, in our lives. That being said, my son, who is now 29, while not planned, not in the big picture plan at the time, he was the best thing that could have happened to us. It really made us kind of buckle down and just come together as a couple in a family and realize that love is something much bigger than we could have ever imagined.
Hmm, okay. Wow. All right. Thank you, Nancy, for sharing your beautiful story with us, actually. So, yes, I want us to dive into what you're doing today, right? So, wow. And yes, I'm really sorry about this, but your own breast cancer diagnosis, right, changed how you view medicine. So, can you share how that experience, transformed your approach of healing?
Absolutely. And please don't be sorry. I feel like, well, I would never say I'm grateful to have been diagnosed with breast cancer. It definitely has changed my life in a way that I see things in a bigger picture. I appreciate things in a different way. And I could not be where I am today if I had not been through that experience. So I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Thankfully, it was early. It was early stage. And thinking I'm a nurse, I've been a nurse for a long time. I have the tools. I know how to navigate the health system. I know how to advocate for myself. I'm going to be okay. It is so much different coming from the provider side, no matter who you are, no matter how much experience you have, and the patient side. You can't be both at the same time. And I didn't know that going in. I was sitting with the radiation oncologist, trying to come up with a plan to move forward in my care and my treatment. And I felt in that meeting, in that moment, that he was speaking to me like a diagnosis, a clinical picture, a set of scans and labs, not a woman, a human, a person with a family and a career and a love for yoga. I'm a yoga instructor and a very passionate yogi. I'm a Reiki master. All of these things that are so important in my life. I felt like he was just speaking to my diagnosis. And in that moment, I realized there has to be more. There has to be a better way to bring all of this together to treat people as a whole, because that's the best way and really the only way to move forward in healing.
Okay. So yes, another thing is, you often say that symptoms are messages, not life sentences, right? So what does that mean, and why is that perspective so important?
Um, yeah, so symptoms, things that come up in your body, that's your body telling you something isn't right, whatever it is. And the sooner you start listening to those symptoms, the sooner you can really move forward with a plan and a way to deal with those symptoms. When you ignore them or you allow them to kind of pile up, that's when things really start to get to a point where, it comes to a head. And like even talking about a diagnosis of cancer, there are so many things that contribute to a cancer diagnosis. Like for me, I did not have any of the genetic markers that would potentially, contribute to a cancer diagnosis. So for me, and looking back, what are the things, environmental. So all of the things that you put in and on your body. So everything that you eat, you drink, you inhale, products that you put on your skin, that you use in your laundry, all of those things affect your biology. And so, looking at all of those things, that can contribute to diagnosis, to cancer, to symptoms that you're having. So as far as symptoms, they are telling your body something isn't right, something's not right, but it doesn't mean that you have to feel this way forever, or that this is the end all be all. And so when you start listening to your body, when you start listening to your symptoms, when you start approaching all of these things from a holistic, whole person perspective, that's when you really can start to heal. And it's looking at these things from the ground up, from the root cause. Like what is causing this? A lot of traditional medicine approaches, and don't get me wrong, we need traditional medicine, right? We need it. And I think there's a way for all of this to work together. But traditional medicine is looking at just treating the symptom, just the symptom. How do we fix the symptom? Whereas coming from a holistic approach, the symptom is telling you something else is going on. So what is that something else, and how are we going to get there to approach it?
Oh, all right. So yes, I like that you mentioned holistic, right? Because there's this whole idea on the internet now. It's everybody wants to do skincare. I don't know about where you are, but in Nigeria, everybody wants to start their skincare routine. Everybody's getting different products, right? And I see people apply almost 10 different products on their face, on their skin. And then I ask myself, is this even safe? Right? Because I feel like I know we are all caring for our skin, right? But I feel like that is too much. It becomes too much for the skin. So what is your take on, applying too many products on the face and
So
the
I
skin,
think
basically?
Yeah, so I think you really need to look at what's in those products. And we see a lot of times when products are marketed, you see this beautiful person, right, who's putting them on their skin, and
Mm.
their skin. You're like, oh, I want to look like that. But it's really important to look at what is in the products. Like they really, if there's anything that has like a laundry list of ingredients in it, is usually not good. So you want things that are natural, holistic, and simple. Simple.
Mm.
And the other thing about skin is so now we're talking about putting what we're putting on our skin. Let's talk about how we're getting from again the inside out. What are you putting in your body to bring out the best in your skin? So here we're talking basic, holistic, good nutrition, hydration, huge when it comes to skincare, and sleep. Sleep is so important. So, yeah, those are the three things that are most important in your skincare. And then what you're putting on your skin, very simple, natural, basic. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. So basically, what you eat, right? What you drink, and how you sleep. Those are really
Yeah.
important. And it's
They
funny
affect
how it's simple.
everything. Right. So simple.
Right.
Yeah.
It's simple, it's not difficult, right? So, I always have a friend that tells me that he said the best skincare is just eating right. Eat fruits, just drink water. You look good that way, right? But I felt like, now I need to do more, right? But now I'm hearing from the experts, and I do believe that actually. So yes, thank you, Nancy, for that one.
Yes, of
So
course.
yes, talking about functional medicine, right? It focuses on, finding root causes instead of just simply managing symptoms. So how can that mindset apply to life beyond physical health?
Um, and again, we're talking about some really basic things here. The things that you approach. Um, Again, we're talking good holistic nutrition, hydration, sleep. I talk to my clients. I'm like, sleep, you need to sleep. It's like it's your job. Like that is the most important thing in all of your healing and everything that you do is getting good sleep, right? And moving your body. You've got to move your body. You've got to exercise in a way that feels good for you. I think it's really, and again, it's really important to find something that you connect with, that you like, because if you don't like it, you're not gonna stay with it. So what is it that you like in a way to move your body? But resting is also important too. You've got to rest, you've got to rejuvenate, you've got to let your body have its healing time. So balancing all of those things, and that those are really the basis of everything in our lives: physical, mental, emotional, even social, like your relationships. You can't approach a relationship in the best way if you're not feeling good about yourself, right? If you're not in a great place, if you're tired, if you're cranky, if you're upset about something. And of course we all have those days. But it's hard to be the best version of yourself when you're carrying all of that on a daily basis. So yeah, really, again, simple, but those things can be hard. Eating well can be hard. So it's a process, it's learning, and it's really being invested in it long term. Because these are not things that you're going to have immediate results with. As a society, I feel like we want the immediate result. We want things right now. Like you want something, you want it right now. These are all things that require investment in your time, in your health, and being okay with, it's going to take a little time to get to the place that I need and I want to be. But man, is it going to be great when I get there.
Oh, all right. So I'm going to highlight what you said, right? Eating healthy, basically. Then movement, moving your body, very important. Then sleep, also very important. And like you said, this is not something we do now and then get the results tomorrow, right? It's a lifelong process, basically. So the goal is to live healthy, right? The goal is to be healthy and be happy. Because funny enough, if you do these things, you're actually going to be happy. Like you'll be much more happier with yourself. So that is the goal basically. So it's a long-term process and we need to stick to it. Right, okay. So yes, and another thing is that you work with women navigating emotional eating and alcohol cravings during midlife, right? So although that's like a different stage of life, what lessons about stress and coping do you hope younger adults can take from that?
Yeah, so as you know, as you get older, as you move forward in life, different things will come to you, and you have kind of more responsibility and just more life. And so with that comes stress and learning how to manage that stress and just life management. If you don't allow yourself to feel what you need to feel, feelings are so important, and learn to manage those feelings. If you don't learn to navigate relationships, if you don't learn, time management skills, all of those things are going to pile up as you get older. And then you get sometimes to a point where you don't know how to manage them. And so you start looking for outside things to manage those things, whether that's alcohol, whether that's food, whatever it is. And so I think starting when you're younger, even in your 20s, right, to develop tools to manage and monitor your stress when you get to that point when you're older. And again, now you're navigating. So we're talking about navigating literal hormonal chaos in your body, right? And so like these hormones hijack the same systems that or the same pathways that bring you pleasure. So now you've got all of this, conflicting stuff going on in your body. If you have the tools that you've developed all along your life to be able to start to manage that, it is really, really important. And it helps to not necessarily reach for the external things to cope, to manage, to just get through, right? And so really, really important. I do also bring into my work, because like I said, I'm a yoga instructor. I'm very passionate about teaching and practicing. And I'm also a Reiki master. So helping my clients with developing tools like breath work, like, not everybody loves yoga. I do love to introduce people to it and the different styles and how it can help. So I think that is another piece. And just really learning how to be with yourself, sit with yourself, and feel what you need to feel. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So yes, that sounds more like, the concept of self-love and self-acceptance, actually. So like when you said learning how to be and sit with yourself, I think it's very important, actually. In the long run, it helps with making more informed decisions, right? Decisions that would actually be of benefit to you later in life. Right. And I like that, mental health conversations are becoming more common today, unlike, back in the days, right? So how do you see the connection between our physical health and our emotional well-being?
I mean, they're all tied together, right? Your physical, your mental, your emotional, your social health, spiritual too. I'm going to put spiritual in there. They're all part of who you are. Like you are not any one of those pieces. You are all of those pieces together. And so in order to be the best version of yourself, in order to be the happiest, healthiest, most whole person, all of those pieces need to be healthy. And if any one of them is off, it's going to kind of throw off the balance, right? And so I really like to look at all of those pieces when I'm talking to my clients, because again, you're not any one of those things. That being said, feeling good physically helps you to feel good in all of the other aspects of your life, right?
Mm.
So just bringing all of those pieces together, so important.
All right. Well, oh, okay. So yes, thank you, Nancy, for the beautiful insights you've shared with us today. Personally, I think I've learned a lot actually. And yes, I'd like to ask, right, what do you think excites you the most about, the future of functional medicine and healthcare, basically?
What excites me the most is again, um, teaching people to see the whole person, the big picture, and having people realize that they can be wholly, fully healthy and the best versions of themselves. And I get really excited when I'm working with clients and they have these aha moments when we're working through, they come to me with one issue. Like it's usually this is what I need to work on. And then as we start to dig, we realize there are so many other pieces that are coming up. And when these things start to come together and they realize, wow, it's amazing. And so that's what makes me so excited is when people see all of it come together.
All right. Well, so yes, thank you, Nancy. I think this has been really, insightful actually and deeply grounding, by the way, too. So finally, I just want you to, talk to someone out there because that's like the sole purpose of my podcast, giving advice to the younglings, basically. So for someone in their 20s who feels, overwhelmed about life or, basically are just seeking clarity when it comes to life. What advice do you have for them?
The biggest thing is just know you're not alone. You are not alone. There are people out there that love you, that care about you, and that want to help you. They want you to be the best version of yourself. They want you to move forward in a happy, healthy, meaningful way. And so find your people, hold them close and talk. When you keep things in, when you keep your feelings in, when you know, like, I'm the strong one, I can do this. Yes, great. You are strong and you are amazing. And you can't do this thing called life by yourself. So find your people and ask for help when you need it. Don't be afraid.
Mm. Wow. Oh, all right. Thank you for that one. I felt like you, spoke to me directly. So yes, thank you. Like you said, find your people. Don't do life alone, and know that everything will work out at the end of the day. Right? Just trust the process, basically. All right. So yes, it brings me to the final segment of my podcast. I call it the rapid fire segment. You could either answer with a word or a phrase starting now. Right. So what is one word that describes your 20s?
Chaos.
Okay. All right. So yes, would you prefer coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Um, all right. So what is one, healthy habit every young individual should start today?
Um, move your body every day.
Hmm. Move your body. All right. And finally, what is a book that, has had the biggest impact in your life?
So the book that has the biggest impact on my life is called We Are the Luckiest. It's by an author called, her name is Laura McCowan. A piece of my work is working with people who are in recovery from alcohol addiction. And that book is the beginning of the foundation of the work that I have created in that piece of my work. We Are the Luckiest, Laura McCowan. Amazing.
Oh, all right. We are the luckiest, right? Thank you so much, Nancy. And finally, before you go, where can listeners get to, learn more about you and also connect with you?
So my website is nancythompsonholisticwellness.com. And from there, you can book a discovery call with me. I have an e-store that has all kinds of wonderful, amazing, holistic, natural supplements and products. You can get to my store from there. And I also have a cool app that allows you to you do health assessments and you can see where you fall on the spectrum there as far as like stress and gut health and your hormones, things like that. So you can get to all of that from my website.
Well, all right. And I'm going to put a link in the show notes so it's easily accessible for listeners. And to my listeners, I want to say thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Sekani. If this episode sparked something in you, just as it did in me, make sure to share to someone who you think might need this and also subscribe so you don't miss out on new episodes. Once again, thank you, Nancy. Do have a wonderful day ahead of you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Take care.
You too.
All right.